Hello, my loves. Welcome to today's reading. So today's reading is all about your soulmate journey. How you're gonna meet your soulmate, first impressions, and all that good stuff. So for today's reading, we have 4 piles to choose from. If you're new to this concept or to my channel, the way it works is that usually you have a couple of piles to choose from, and then just take a moment, no need to rush, and try to feel to which pile you're most drawn to. Once you've picked this pile, you can scroll down to the comment section where my pinned comment is, or to the description section below and just click the timestamp that corresponds to your pile that you chose. And then you skip ahead to your own reading and learn all about how you're going to meet your soulmate. That being said, let's go ahead and introduce the piles. So we have pile number 1 with green aventurine. Then we have pile number 2 with carnelian. We have pile number 3 with orange calcite. And pile number 4 with blue lace agate. So as usual, take all the time that you need. No need to rush. You can pause the video if you like to. And I'm going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1s. If you chose the green aventurine stone here, then this is your reading about how you're going to meet your soulmate. So we're going to have a look at their journey of now until the moment that you meet them. Also, there is going to be two of oracle cards explain a little bit either with the relationship or your journey. We're going to have a look because I let that part to be a little bit more free. And then we're going to look at the impressions that your soulmate is going to have of you, their first impression, and your first impression of your soulmate. And then the overall 2 cards that are going to explain your relationship in total. Yeah, so let's go ahead and have a look how you're going to meet your soulmate, pile number 1. So we're going to start with your tarot cards about your journey. So the first card we have is the Knight of Cups. And the second one we have the 8 of Pentacles and the Devil. Okay. Not sure how to do it. Maybe I should lay all the cards. Let's just add to this part of the section of the reading the 2 extra oracle cards are going to explain us a little bit of how it's going to go like. So the Sun card and the 6th chakra. Okay, so I feel, give me a second. Pile number 1, I'm just going to try and feel what I feel here. So what I'm feeling here, pile number 1, is that, so with this Knight of Cups, it does feel like this is your person. So it feels like, so I'm going to tell you a story, how I'm seeing this unfolding. It looks like your soulmate is going to be, first of all, I feel like you're going to meet in a workplace or somewhere where you're going to be actually pretty busy. I feel like you might be a pretty busy person. Or at the very least, it feels like you're focusing on your career at the moment when the soulmate comes through. In fact, I do feel like this soulmate could be even potentially first a friend, or at the very least, I don't see a connection in terms of romantic love at first, but I feel like this person's going to notice you, yet you're going to be distracted in your own affairs, whether that's going to be your education or it could be also that you're going to be busy with your work. But I do feel like they're really coming there with their pure feelings, and I do feel like you guys are gonna be connected really well. In terms like there's gonna be this friendship in there for sure, because with the Sun card, it makes me feel like there's gonna be this mutual understanding and this kind of like lightness. And I feel like I'm getting this message right now that you're gonna be laughing with this person a lot, and it feels like they're gonna be a little bit in the friend zone at first. So they're gonna develop their feelings before you do. And they're going to be around you because they're going to be very attracted to you. While you're going to be, pile number 1, more fixated on your work environment. Maybe even you notice this person, but you were like, it just doesn't feel like it happens right away. But it feels like you have a lot of sunny days, like the Sun card here. With this person, there's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of like laughing, having fun, like in terms of like communication, just being around that person. And what's really interesting, eventually I feel like this relationship gets into a very passionate level. You see, with this 3rd eye here, it's kind of like all of a sudden you feel this realization, or at the very least you have this like at some point, this realization this person was always there for you there, or at the very least you just never thought of them kind of like a potential lover. It feels like you were so engaged in your affairs, in your work environment, perhaps you Your education, this person was always there, like kind of like the friend person, always helping you here. You might have felt attraction, but you didn't really build a romance relationship at first. And then slowly, you kind of intuitively, it feels like it develops naturally, and it feels like very natural the way it goes. And actually, I feel like there's a lot of passion here. So for some of you, how this could unfold into actually a romantic relationship is that maybe you go out for drinks and you get drunk, and then whoops, that happened. And because with this devil card here, I do feel like sexual tension, a lot of sexual energy. So I'm not sure what's my audience for pile number 1 is. I'm trying to keep it age 13 friendly. But it feels like in the very least, there's the romantic aspect, like this passion unfolds here. It's just like feelings all of a sudden burst out. In terms of where you're gonna meet them, I do feel like they notice you first. They develop feelings first, as I said before. And eventually you get to, you have a lot of this nice intellectually connected days with them. And then there's this passion. So once you actually realize, okay, so this person was always there, or you start seeing them in the new light and kind of get distracted from your work environment, and you're not even distracted, but just like when you actually notice the person in a romantic way and understand that they actually have feelings for you, then there's this like passionate energy, and it happens so naturally. It feels like they were always there, and it happens very naturally, and then all of a sudden there's like this passion energy there, because the devil card can signify a lot of things, but in my readings, in terms of romance, it mainly signifies passionate encounters. So if you're under 18, it could be also like very hot kisses, I don't know. But yeah, it feels like maybe the connection is gonna happen and the realization is gonna happen when you're both, I don't know, out for drinks or something, or like it happens through a very honest conversation kind of, and it feels like it gets really passionate. That's kind of the energy I'm feeling here. Okay, let's have a look at their first impression of you. So, okay, I do feel like they will think that maybe you don't like them. But they're gonna, like, the Salvation card always makes me feel like it's, oh, you didn't see it. So we have the Salvation card here and the Three of Swords in reverse. Well, either way, reverse or upright, this card usually talks about like heartbreak or overcoming the heartbreak, but I do feel like this is more of a friend zone kind of card. It feels like they think that you're not into them romantically, so they're not really, there's no like advancing here. It's just here when it unfolds in a passionate way, it feels like it happens in a momento, you know, like when you're all of a sudden, both of you are drunk or very honest, and somehow this honesty and passionate moment happens, and you're like both understand, like, okay, now it makes all sense. Like all of this intuitive kind of understanding happens because of those all moments just kind of built together, and you both realize your feelings. Because I do feel like your soulmate won't think that you're into them at first. They're going to be always there around you because they're going to be really appreciating you. With the Salvation card here, it makes me think of the Sun card as well. It just even has the similar lighting in here. They're gonna think of you like this very bright, their own salvation, basically. They're gonna feel very good at being around you, and even if they will think that you're not into them, because most likely you're gonna be distracted with your own affairs, with your own work, or you even won't believe they have feelings for you. So it's gonna be, I feel like there's a hidden aspect here that they don't come strong forward, and also you don't really give like romantic messages, like romantic kind of signs that, okay, here, come at me. I know that you're into me. Like, you know, there's this kind of like friendship going on, which is great. I do feel like whenever relationships develop in this like friendship kind of situation, it's great because you first have this friendship and mental connection, and then you have the very passionate one. But yeah, the Salvation, they're gonna really enjoy their time with you. You're gonna have, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of laughter. Am I even pronouncing correctly? Laughter. Like, you know, laughing. Yes, those kind of moments. I do feel like also they're going to be a lot of fun moments, uplifting moments. They're going to feel very good being around you, and you're going to feel their support, and you're going to feel them around you in a good way. Like, it's a very dear, precious friend. So let's have a look what you're going to think of them. Strength and communion. Yes, a friendship. I do feel with this kind of union card, like friendship, like they're like your kind of soulmate, but in a friendship type of way. So you feel very natural with them. That's why we have the sixth chakra, which is the third eye chakra. It feels like intuitively, you feel so at peace, and it feels like you really connect well, but it's just the sexual part where you actually realize your romantic feelings happens through a very honest conversation at some point, or a very honest, very passionate moment. And with the strength here, I do feel like their presence makes you more confident, they're like this supportive shoulder at your side, pile number one. They're like this supportive shoulder that always is there. Kind of like you notice them, I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, I like when this happens in the readings. It means that the spirits agree. Anyways, I do feel like you're gonna feel very strong with them. And with all this warm energy, it could be the potential that could be a Leo sign. Although Leos are a little bit more aggressive in terms of romantic encountering, but they might have, either way, you or they might have Leo in their chart, because I do feel like a lot of this warm, fiery energy, not too fierce, but like it feels like with the sun here and the strength, it kind of gives me the Leo vibes, yeah. But you're gonna feel very strong with them. They're gonna be always there to support you, because they're gonna just enjoy so much being around you, and you're gonna feel very secure with them, because whenever you have a tough moment, that could be like the person that would just like maybe give you like that. Maybe even, I feel like you're a quite strong person, so maybe you wouldn't go to their shoulder to cry, but you always felt that they're there for you. And that's really precious. When the romantic aspect happens after the friendship is built, a really deep connection in terms of mutual mental understanding, that's a very nice, very secure in the farther future relationship. And I don't say that there's not going to be any sexual, passionate kind of a feeling here in this relationship, because it will later, and I feel like it happens very abruptly. Like it's gonna happen just out of the blue, not out of the blue, but it's kind of gonna be like this, oh, you have feelings for me romantically, because I do feel like you wouldn't even notice them, in terms like you wouldn't even think they have feelings for you, and they would think that since you don't show any very straightforward, very strong signs of romantic interest, because you're going to be a little bit busy with your own career building, maybe hobby, maybe something like it feels like you're really passionate about your work, or something that you really want to do, your future plans perhaps, and they're there to support you. They're going to be there to support you, pile number one. They're going to be there, that strong lion here, like, or the shoulder that's going to just, you're going to feel, at least at the very least, much more confident and stronger when they're with you, because you feel like you have a very dear friend. That's where the communion card comes into action. And that's how the Three of Swords in there, even in terms of reverse, it still indicates kind of a heartbreak in reverse, because probably later on, I mean, it's your soulmate reading, later on it develops into a romantic relationship, obviously. So yeah, they're going to notice you. It's going to be probably in a workspace. It could be a colleague, a potential. I don't see any social media. I don't see any Tinder and stuff like that. I do feel like they're going to notice you as a person in terms of some sort of activity that you do. And they're going to stay by your side as a very strong friend, because they might not even want to push forward, not to lose you even, perhaps. Maybe you're somebody who appreciates their own freedom. So they're going to make sure that you feel comfortable around them before they actually approach strongly, which I don't even think they will approach strongly. This is actually something really tender and beautiful. They really treasure you. They really find you this salvation type of person. And you find them like this strong shoulder to not rely on, but you know that because you have that shoulder to rely on, you feel stronger. You feel like you always have somebody having your back. And yeah, I do feel like gradually at some point, that when this actually happens, it's going to be a passionate encounter. So it could be just that you all of a sudden you get really honest with each other due to a situation, or you get really drunk, or one of those, like those cliche kind of situations in a good way from movies, where all of a sudden you realize your feelings there's a lot of passion going on afterwards. So we have two more cards. This is going to signify an overall idea of how your relationship is going to go like. And we have the Liberty. Okay. So with the card Liberty, I do feel like there's so much freedom in your relationship. You see pile number, I was about to say pile number two, pile number one. You have a lot of trust. I do not feel like there's jealousy issues because, I mean, it's always nice to have a little bit of jealousy going on for the spice of it, but I do not feel like there's gonna be a lot of trust, understanding in this relationship. I do feel like you're gonna be each other's best friend, and they're just gonna treasure you so much. They just have those feelings, and because of those feelings, even a little bit in a selfish way, they just want to be near you, even if it means to be as a friend. They just want to be there for you, and they feel very good being around you. They'll laugh a lot, you laugh a lot, you feel like you very connect really well. And once you develop a relationship, it's going to be very free-like. There's going to be a lot of freedom. There's not going to be like, they're going to not restrict your wings, if that's a thing to say. You're going to have a lot of understanding, support, and you're going to have the freedom to express your feelings. It's gonna feel like there's gonna be a lot of trust in this relationship, a lot of trust, less jealousy. I don't even feel like there's gonna be any jealousy. If there is, just some playful ones once in a while, you know, to ignite the fire. But I do feel also it's gonna be pretty passionate, and it feels like really like a soulmate. I know this is a soulmate reading, but it feels like my understanding of the soulmate, kind of like this soul connecting, friendship connecting, and then like connected on a mental level, being each other's support. It's such a beautiful actually pile, really. With this Liberty card, your relationship is gonna have obviously a lot of passion with the Devil card here, but I also do feel like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of freedom. You're gonna have a lot of freedom in there. They're just gonna treasure you as a person, because sometimes, you know, there's sometimes some relationships where you feel like there's a lot of jealousy, or people trying to restrict each other's freedom. Kind of like possessive kind of feeling. They want you in their lives, but because they want you, they give you that freedom. From the very beginning, they just give you this freedom, this laughter. I really keep mispronouncing this word. Just laughing, in a good, positive like attitude. And I do feel like this very like soulmate bonding, friendship, bonding on a mental level, appreciating your soul, basically. It's really beautiful. I really like what I'm reading here. So last card here, a little bit of an overall feeling to your relationship, pile number 1. Another one extra to the Liberty. It's from my Moonology cards that I always use because I adore this deck. So I'm using it every single reading. But let's see, it can be anything. It can be the sign, it can be some sort of, I just let it free to any possible interpretation. Nothing is yet set in stone. So what I see here is that, okay, so it could potentially mean that you haven't met this person yet, or you haven't noticed this person, which speaks to me more like you haven't noticed this person yet. With the nothing is set in stone, also I have another message for some of you. This means that in terms of relationship, it means that it's never going to be a dull moment there. It's always going to be, not in a negative way, because we have so many positive cards. You have the Sun card, the Salvation, the Communion, which is like a perfect friendship understanding, the Liberty. So with nothing is set in stone, I do feel like it's like you're going to have always fun with each other. It feels like there's going to be always conversations. Because one of the reasons is because you start this relationship as a friendship relationship. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful, mutual existence and understanding. So nothing is set in stone. It means that you might come up with a lot of ideas. It's always going to be something new, interesting, some new colors pop into your relationship. And also for some of you, it could mean that you haven't met this person yet. At the very least, it also could mean that this person is not yet your lover, but as we saw here, at this point of time, it feels like this person is actually, there will be, or they already are a friend in your kind of professional, working, hobby, kind of like activity environment, what you do. Yes. In terms of signs, I was really picking on Leo vibes, so it could be moon, sun, or rising. It could be also Venus, because it's love reading. So one of those 4 aspects in your or their chart could be Leo, because there's a lot of warmness coming from here, and also a little bit of generosity. I do feel like they're going to be very generous, also very gentle with you. They won't force their way into you like right away, you know, because I think they will just try to appreciate your own freedom. And I do feel like you're going to give that freedom also back to them. So it's going to be like a really trusting, beautiful relationship with mutual mental connection and understanding. And always something new in this relationship. I feel like there's not even always something new. Even if you're just staying in at the same home, watching a movie, it just feels like there's always something to talk about or discover with your partner. It's like this mental, I do feel like mentally you're gonna be always interested in one another. Yeah. Okay, wow, I really like this reading. It's such a beautiful reading. So I'm really excited for you, pile number 1. Let me know what you think about this reading. You can leave a comment, subscribe if you feel like it, like the video if you feel like it, and yeah, lucky you. It looks really, really nice. That's it for today. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'm gonna be seeing you in my next videos. Bye, guys. Hello, pile number 2s. If you chose the carnelian stone here, then this is your reading about how you're gonna meet your soulmate, your journey. So first thing first, how we're gonna go. Those 2 piles represent the soulmate's first impression of you and your impression of the soulmate. Then before that though, we're gonna look at their journey. So from today until the moment when you actually develop the romantic relationship, how is it gonna go like? And then we're gonna add a little bit of the oracle cards to see either way, because there's a free interpretation there. So either way, we're gonna see how the relationship is gonna go like. Or it's gonna signify how the relationship is progressing until the moment when you start dating that person or having a romantic encounter with them. Yeah, and then we have 2 final cards, which is the general kind of explanation of how your relationship is actually gonna be like. Okay, that's been said, let's go ahead and see what we have. So we're gonna start with the tarot cards. So you have 3 tarot cards, which signify the journey until you actually develop this romantic relationship with the person. And with your soulmate. And we start with the 2 of Wands, 7 of Wands. Then a lot of Wands energy. Okay, the 8 of Wands, and then the 10 of Swords. Okay, quite interesting, intense relationship. Same with the previous pile. I'm just gonna lay out the oracle cards that are gonna help us understand either with the journey or a current relationship. So whatever I'm feeling from it, I'm gonna let you know. So we have the journey, the thinking woman, and we have a huge mess here. Woohoo! Okay, I see. Okay. So give me a moment. I'm gonna just try and see what I can feel from this. So pile number 2, there's a couple of scenarios that get to my, like there's a couple of things that I'm seeing for you right now. So for some of you, it could be that you already actually met this person before, but somehow things happened and you were just in a distance from one another for quite some time. It feels like you were in a distance. And okay, so here's what I'm seeing. It felt like you were in a distance from that person before. On the very least, I do feel like a very independent single energy here. And with the journey here, it signifies to me that perhaps you were on your own for quite a bit, actually. It feels like you were self-dependent. You are actually self-dependent, potentially. You're very self-reliable. And here's the thing. I do feel like you were, because you haven't met this person before, because you were in a different country. So whether you met this person or not, it feels like you were in different countries from one another. So that could potentially mean that either way, this person moved to your place where you are right now, or you moved to that person's place. It could be already something that happened for quite a bit. So maybe you moved in that place for already like a year or 2 ago, but you were just independent still there, like being on your own. But it also could be like, yeah, so there's an element of self-dependency here, and also distance in terms of different countries. With the journey, whenever this card comes through, I do see it as something that is signifying distance from one another. Yes. For some of you, you might actually have known this person and you might have actually had some time apart. Maybe you moved to different places, and then it feels like you're very suddenly or very fast, because this is a very fast moving energy. Like the 8 of Wands is a fast moving energy. It's coming together in a really fast pace, in a really passionate pace. And the interesting thing is that you might be pile number 2. I do feel like you're very self-reliant, a little bit too much, a little bit self-reliant to a fault. Maybe you even got disappointed in romantic relationships. I know you're looking at this video, watching this video, but it doesn't mean that maybe you actually did get disappointed at some point in your life, or right now you are in romantic relationships, because you've been just through quite a bit. With this Ten of Swords, I feel like you want the right person. Like, you have been through some things already, and you're just like, either way I'm getting the right one, I'm not getting anyone. I don't need this person to just, compensate for something, because I'm a full person. I'm a wall person on my own. But if this person comes, this person has to be that one, because I have no more strength for somebody that is just not the right one. Like, you see, it feels like you maybe had been a traumatic relationship before, or at the very least you were just tired of romantic relationships. For others of you, it could potentially mean that you're tired of being single. And you're tired of being so self-reliant. You're a little bit too tired of that. But it feels like there's this natural flow here with the Temple Path. The Temple Path is a card that represents kind of like a natural unfolding of events. Like this kind of natural unfolding, by the flow, kind of intuitive way of developing things. I do feel also that you perhaps, there's so many actual potential, like I'm getting a lot of different messages here. So you could also, perhaps some of you could actually have known this person for a bit, but you thought of this person before, but it's kind of like nothing really happened before, possibly from a distance, because you were in a distance. For others, it could indicate that just you're not gonna jump into this relationship that easily, because you're too self-reliant, and you've been perhaps through some relationships that just didn't work out, and you're just tired of going through relationships that just, exhaust you and basically leave you hurting with this Ten of Swords. So it feels like the person is gonna actually appear on the moment when you're just like done. Either way, done with being single. There's two ways this can go. It depends on how you resonate with this. Either way, you're done of being single, and you're just like done, like you're tired of being so self-reliant. But I think for the majority of you, it's just that the moment when you're actually maybe even say no to romantic relationships, this is kind of when they show up naturally on their own. It just happens so naturally. You maybe don't even think about it. You just probably focus on your own things. But you see, the connection happens eventually. So this distance goes away, and there's here like a really fast meeting, perhaps a meeting that didn't really last for long. I feel like all of a sudden you meet this person under really fast unfolding circumstances, really unusual circumstances, and then I don't think that you don't let them in romantically yet because of that, because you're so self-reliant and you've been through some relationships that didn't work out, and you're just not really giving them that much of let's say you're not jumping into it like with all your passion. You're just thinking about it, really not even really jumping into it romantically. So yeah, let's have a look at the first impression. So this is the first impression of your soulmate, the first impression they have of you, the very first moment they see you. So we have the Temperance and the Adaptability. Okay. So they will see you as a person who's very self-reliant. I think they will see you as a person who knows what they want, or at the very least, not even if you don't know what you want, they will see you as somebody who is complete as a person, who just is confident in themselves. So they will see you as somebody who is confident in themselves, somebody who is understanding of their needs, who shares a potential knowledge and wisdom because they lived through some experiences, and they will find you very adaptable. So you're also there's this aspect here that they might find you really, they will know that you feel comfortable at being single. So I don't feel like you're feeling super uncomfortable being single, but I do feel like you definitely think about having a relationship. You definitely think of having a person in your life, but then you're not really maybe believing that it can happen. So you're just like really down with it. But they see you as a wall person, and they understand that to approach you, it's not like you're just gonna jump into this romantic relationship. They understand that you will take your time. They also find you very adaptable. Maybe you've been through a lot of experiences. Maybe perhaps you've traveled a lot, lived in a different country. They find you very adaptable. So they definitely will be impressed by your life stories. I do feel like you have a lot to tell them. At the very least, even if you didn't move that far away from the place you're living right now, where you used to live before, I do feel like at the very least there's this aspect that you're a very adaptable and self-reliant person. You've been through a lot and you have this wisdom about you, and they will see that. They will see you as somebody really wise, and somebody who has lived a life so far. And I'm not to say that it doesn't signify age. You can be actually pretty young, but you might actually already share some wisdom of things because of different various experiences that you lived. And this adaptability talks about those experiences that you might actually have gone through. And they will see you as this wholesome person who just understands themselves and is comfortable with themselves, and is very adaptable and has potentially a lot of wisdom through their experiences. Now, the way you're gonna see them is judgment and nurturer. So with the nurturer card, remember I told you about these unsuccessful relationships? I do feel like you're gonna see them as somebody who's gonna just change this Ten of Swords for you. Somebody who's gonna arrive in the moment when this Ten of Swords is the most significant in your life, when you're just like really tired. You really don't believe anymore in this. Maybe you don't even want to get married, or you don't believe that there is happy marriages. Maybe you don't believe that if marriage is not something you two want. Maybe you don't believe that there's an element of like thoughts that just, I feel like this is like relationships, romantic ones, and this is just like your thoughts really turning down this potential hope for something incredibly good. Like maybe you really went through some really unsuccessful romantic relationships, or maybe you just don't believe that you're gonna find the one. And they're gonna come on the right moment, on that moment, and they're gonna be this nurturer. They're gonna prove you otherwise. You're gonna see them as somebody who is really caring and somebody who's really gonna try and pop up on the right moment to just change that idea, because there is a person for you, pile number 2 out there. And with the Judgment card, once again, the same idea pops up here, the same message comes to me. The Judgment card in my readings always signifies new potential beginnings, but they are happening from rejuvenation, from renovation of a sort. So for a minority of you, it could potentially mean that this person actually, you met them since a while ago, and you just distance between you and some circumstances pulled you apart, and then later on you come together on the moment when you're really disappointed in the relationships, and this reunion happens, and they nurture this romantic and caring side of you, and they prove you otherwise that yes, there is love and you can love romantically. Potentially this also could mean that for the other part of you who don't resonate with the person who, for an existing soulmate already, it could be that you meet actually a new person, but they just regenerate and renew this idea and feeling of relationships as a total, because your faith and your belief and even your will of having a romantic relationship, because you might actually have dropped by this reading, and thank you for doing so. Hope you enjoyed the reading so far. But you might actually have not really believed. You just want some glimpse of hope, perhaps, for a really good relationship in the future. Maybe you just want to believe that there is a soulmate out there, even like contrary to what you might have been believing so far. But they're gonna bring back this like belief and need and wanting of having a romantic relationship, and they're gonna nourish this beautiful love inside of you. So that's how you're gonna look at them. So you definitely gonna give them a chance. So we're gonna have a look at the last 2 cards. They're gonna signify how your relationship is gonna go, like an overall understanding, and we're gonna flip this one to have a look. So can you hear me? Okay, with this can you hear me card, I do feel like, so first of all, let's go to the number. If you add to an 8, it makes it into a 1, and 1 is new beginning. So with the can you hear me card here in the 1, I do feel like the relationship, the way it's gonna go, like you're not gonna open up fully to them. You're gonna give them a chance. You're gonna start the relationship, but it'll take a little bit of time. So maybe there will be a wall that they will have to go through, and I do feel like they slowly will get into your life and make you open up to them. This is the thing. I don't feel like you're just all right away gonna open up to them because of those because of this kind of like disappointment in romantic relationships, perhaps of the, as I said before, unsuccessful relationships, or perhaps around you haven't seen any potential romantic love that you would feel like would convince you that, you know, to have your own happy story in a romantic relationship. Perhaps either way around you, your own environment, or even your own experiences made you feel like romantic love is something you could live without, or maybe you just a feeling of disappointment of a sort. And we have here the, can you hear me? So I feel like it definitely, there's a pigeon that just landed on my window, sorry, I was just a little bit distracted. So I feel like, yeah, they will have to go through a certain wall, not in a negative way, but it feels like step by step, you will be able to open up your heart to them. So once you start dating, it doesn't mean that you all of a sudden gonna like all of a sudden open up all of your fears or your sacred feelings inside. No, but I do feel like slowly, step by step, you will learn with this also judgment card here, and the nourisher, they will slowly open you up and you will slowly start to trust them and start to be more open to them. So my suggestion in this case would be just once you meet them, just trust the intuition and try to open up as slowly. If that's a bit of a stressful type of process for you, then slowly, baby steps, but try to open up a little bit, because they will just want the best for you and they will want to nourish you. They know that you can be independent, they know that you can be strong, but they also know that you're not letting people that easily in. They will know that. Just slowly, I feel like you will slowly open up to them in the process of the relationship. That's how it feels like, with the number 1 being a number of new beginnings. And bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. Okay, so this card, so this was open to interpretation. It can potentially signify either way your star sign. So you can be either a moon, sun, or rising Aquarius. It could be also in your Venus, but I do feel like mainly it could be moon, rising, or sun. Either way yours or their star sign could be Aquarius. One of those, they might have Aquarius in one of those areas in their chart. Could be also Venus, but I don't feel that much about the Venus part. I do feel like either moon, rising, or sun, it could be an Aquarius. And that also makes me feel like about with this new moon, new beginnings, and the bring love into the situation, the way this relationship is going to go is that you're going to slowly start opening up to them. And they will be there for you to nourish that love inside of you. So it's really beautiful. I do feel like you're going to open up and start believing in romantic. It does. I made it sound like you don't believe in that. So maybe a lot of you won't resonate with this, but it feels like here there's some sort of disappointment in terms of romantic relationships going on here, and self-reliance, which is great. But it does feel like you were pushing the idea of romance, proper romance, or the right partner that is there for you. You were pushing that idea away at some point, or not believing in it even. Hoping for it, but not believing in it. And I do feel like in this relationship, you're going to open up a lot and you're going to be able to trust and have this romantic love that you deserve having. Yeah. Okay, pile number 2s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. That's it for today. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, what resonated, what didn't, and I hope you have a great day, evening, or night, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for joining for this reading, and I'll be seeing you in my next videos. Bye, guys! Oh, my voice cracked. Hello, pile number 3s. If you chose the orange pile side here, then this is your reading about how you're going to meet your soulmate. How this reading is going to go, I'm going to make it as short as possible in explanation, because this is not what we're here for. So this is the first impression of your soulmate of you, and this is the first impression of you about your soulmate. Then we're going to have first a look at the journey from now until the moment you start dating them. How's it going to be? Where is it going to be? I'm going to pick up on whatever I can pick up from this reading. We're going to add a couple of more oracle cards to see a little bit more about how the relationship is going to be like, or how you're going to meet them. I left it free to interpretation. And then 2 general cards that are going to explain how your relationship is going to go from the point that you already started dating. Okay, that's been said, let's start. We start as usually with the tarot cards, and we have, ooh, don't swing like this. Okay, we have 3 tarot cards. So the first tarot card we have about your journey from now until the moment you start dating them is the Hermit. Then we have the 2 of Cups. Oh, and then the 6 of Swords. Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is a journey until the moment you start dating them, huh? Okay, let's lay the next the oracle cards to see a bit more, and I'm gonna then start reading on your journey. So, Envy and Angel of Love. All right. It just keeps swinging around. Anyways, okay, so what I can see from here. Most of you who chose this pile, it definitely orients towards single people. That's how the reading so far went. But yeah, most of you guys are single. And not only that, you're potentially looking at the relationships around you. You might actually have some very good examples of some really good couples, or you look at some stars and celebrities and you're just thinking, so where is my soulmate? Like, look how great their relationship looks like. Why am I single, or why are my relationships not like that? It feels like you have pretty good examples in your life, one way or another. You have this envy. This is an envy of feeling that you feel the fact that you're single and you've seen couples around you and you're like, why am I single? Like, you're having this, not necessarily in a bad way, but you're just looking at this flourishing on the outside. Maybe you're looking at the couples on Instagram or something and it feels like they have the perfect relationship, or in YouTube. And you're like comparing to your current situation. But everything that is on the outside pretty doesn't mean that it's in the inside the same. Social media, if that's where you get this idea of perfect couples and you're thinking like, why are you single and why you don't have this relationship, doesn't mean that the way they show it is how it is. And I'm pretty sure you know it already, but just reminding you that. But here's the thing, I do feel like you're gonna actually meet somebody who's really matching for you. The Two of Cups is a very good card. It's a card of relationships. If it's in the reading of relationships, it's about a soulmate. It's literally the soulmate card. So whenever you get a Two of Cups, it signifies a very deep bond between two people. In this case, since we're doing the relationships soulmate journey, it just indicates that I feel like when you meet, you know that you're each other's soulmates. On the very least, you automatically start thinking that you are each other's soulmates. So it kind of feels like you just meet them and then you both kind of acknowledge that fact, or you just want to believe in that fact. But the fact is that since it's your soulmate journey reading, this is actually your soulmate. So see how these cards move from this to this. So here there's this envy about other people being in a happy relationship and you feeling maybe lonely at times. And then here she actually holds the heart in her hands. This is a very good card. This is about love, Angel of Love. So you will find love. You will definitely find love. And it feels like you will know that this is your soulmate, or at the very least you will be convinced that this is your soulmate from the very first time you meet them. So with the Six of Swords, what I'm feeling is that it feels like you're gonna jump into this relationship a little bit too fast, and you're gonna label this person as a soulmate a little bit too fast, because I feel like here there's gonna be an element of disappointment, not in the bad way, because this is supposed to be your soulmate, pile number 3. But the thing is, like, try to understand your person first before labeling them as a soulmate, because you might have watched other videos, you might have seen that some characteristics match, and you're like, okay, I met them, this is definitely my soulmate. It feels like there is this element of like patience, and you really wanted to be in a relationship for quite a bit. You really were looking at the other couples, thinking, why are you single? And the moment this person appears, you're like, okay, this is my soulmate, everything's gonna go perfect. You see, even if it is your soulmate, first you need to get to know the person. So maybe at first there might be a little bit of, once you start dating, because this is already the point of dating, there might be a little bit of going through kind of a point of disappointment a little bit, not in a bad way, but just like you rush. If it feels like there's like a bit of a too fast to label something. Obviously there's going to be love, there's going to be understanding, but try both of you to learn each other really well, to explore this beautiful journey of actually being in a romantic relationship before you label and start planning for your future kids. And yeah, so there is a small element of disappointment, but it goes away quite fast. I feel like just the point here that I want to suggest to this pile is that try to take a moment. And I know you've been waiting for your soulmate quite a bit. You've been dreaming, fantasizing, perhaps going to different tarot readings on YouTube, trying to figure out how they look like, because there's element of expectancy here. You've been expecting this person for quite a bit, and there are your person. You have a soulmate. If you picked up this pile, then, and if you resonate, then this is your soulmate. Just don't label it as fast, because when we fall in love really fast, we tend to put those rosy pink glasses on and not see the actual picture. So there might be a little bit of like these bumps, like not everything's going to go smoothly as planned in this wonderful scenario, but things are going to work out because there's going to be love. I said it in a really weird accent. There's going to be love in your relationship. So let's have a look of the first impressions of your soulmate of you. Today I'm actually taking reversals. I'm not sure if you noticed. The Hierophant and the Healing. Okay. So with the Hierophant, I do feel like they're gonna see you as somebody who wants... So this card can have a potential lot of meanings. It can refer to education, knowledge, and stuff like that. It can also indicate traditionality in terms of like... So the way I'm seeing this right now and feeling this is that they're gonna see you as somebody who is ready for a committed relationship. It's somebody who wants a relationship. Once they step into a relationship, they commit and they already plan for the future and they see this farther future, already fantasize perhaps about children, marriage. So they see you and they understand you as somebody who actually wants a serious, a committed relationship. They understand that. But they also understand that you might be somebody who, they see you as somebody who potentially needs a time for, how to put it, needs healing in terms, like needs to understand this relationship a bit better, like the terms, let me just phrase it because it's kind of, they will see you basically as somebody who needs still to learn about love. It's not exactly how I want to make it sound like, but they will understand right away that you want a serious relationship. That's good. They will know what they signed for. But they also understand that there is some aspects to you that needs nourishing, let's call it like that. It feels like maybe you were feeling lonely for quite a bit, pile number 3, and they will know that. They will feel that. They will feel that there's some aspects about, in terms of romantic encounter between the two of you, that will need a little bit of healing. Could be potentially because you were feeling lonely at some point, alone. That's what I'm picking up on, yeah. If I pick up on something else in the middle of the reading, I'll let you know. So, your first impression of them. Okay, yeah. The 10 of Wands, and I also have the 2 cards here from the... I'm really bad with names. Goddess Oracle? Anyways, you got 2 instead of 1, so I just went with that. Focus and generosity. Okay, so the message is pretty clear here. When you see them, you will want to have them. You will be very fast jumping to conclusion that this is your soulmate, and you will be actually right because this is your soulmate reading. But once you have them, you will want them. Like once you meet them, you will already want to commit. You will have this, and they will see that. They will know that. And this is where actually this element of a little bit of disappointment kind of goes, because as every relationship, it will need some time. But once you meet them, you will want them. You will be just like wanting to keep them, because this can mean a lot of things, the 10 of Wands, but in a lot of readings that I do, it signifies of wanting to hold onto something. With the focus, we have also number 4. So yeah, definitely once you see them, you will know it's your soulmate and you will want to be with them. With the number 4 here, it indicates that you will want already a serious relationship, a grounding, stability of a sort. What's the word? Settle down. That's the word. You will want to settle down with them. And with generosity, you're going to be really giving like your best, a lot of love. And with the focus here, it feels like you're going to, as I said before, you will meet them, you will know it's your soulmate, you will label them as so, and you will already feel ready for commitment because you've been waiting for this quite a bit. But my suggestion once again is not to rush, because there will be slight disappointments in the process because of how fast you will be ready to commit to it. There will be needed a little bit of time to get to know each other. That's what I'm picking on here. But you will be right, since this is your reading, this is a reading about your soulmate. Once you meet them and you label them as your soulmate, and once you want to commit to them, they actually are your soulmate. Just give it time, and what's yours, it will be yours. Yeah. This also potentially could indicate that they also feel like you're somebody who they want to commit to, because it can also represent marriage, traditional, commitment relationships. So another aspect of this card, it could be that you are ready to commit, they're ready, or they understand that you want to commit and they also are ready to commit. So kind of as I said in the beginning, that you both will actually understand that you're each other's soulmates. Just there is a little bit of rushful energy here. Just jumping too fast into it. Yeah. Okay. So the last two cards are going to signify how your relationship is going to go like after you start dating. So this one is a bit more of a general kind of suggestion, so we're going to look at it in a bit. And this is how your relationship is going to go like after you start dating. No rain today. Nice. So actually you're a pretty good fit with the Two of Cups. It seems like it is a good fit. It's a soulmate card. So no rain today. It signifies about just feeling very good. So it's going to be a quite passionate relationship. I feel like you're going to feel very good with each other. You're going to feel, and they're going to actually also have a very healing experience in you too. Also, you're going to be very generous with them. Like, I feel like you have so many feelings that you've been keeping to yourself, and you're going to give all your feelings to them. You're going to be ready. You're going to be very committed. I do feel like you're somebody very committed to one lover. And yeah, you really want a serious but fitting and good soulmate relationship. And no rain today indicates a relationship that is very... Yeah, it indicates a relationship that is very... sunny. It's kind of like equivalent to the sun card here. It kind of feels that even though there will be a slight disappointments, or maybe even for some of you, it could indicate that you're going to go away from your past unsuccessful relationships or experiences. This also could be that for some of you. Depends how you resonate with it. So the Six of Swords could also potentially mean that you're just walking away from those negative feelings of loneliness or negative feelings of that you had in terms of perhaps unsuccessful previous relationships. This also could be that for some of you. But in general, I do see that your relationship is going to be very, very understanding in terms like it might be that you will be committed to one another a bit too early, but it's your soulmate. So I do feel like there's going to be there's going to be passion, there's going to be like love. I feel like a lot of romantic, warm love is going to be there with the sun and no rain today. And yeah, they will have a really good healing influence on you. Take it as it resonates. It could be just healing your lonely heart. I'll screenshot my sound to some of you. But yeah, they will have a very nice influence on you. And the relationship is going to be like basically equivalent to the sun card. Very warm. I feel like a lot of warmth, like very gentle, romantic kind of. There's like this gentleness and warmth to it. So the last card of today's reading is the Moonology card. As usually, I use them in every single of my readings. In case you haven't noticed, you can check the rest of the videos. You will see. But this is meant to tell us basically anything. It can be a zodiac sign. It can be any type of suggestion that today the spirit wants to tell us. It will tell us through this card. A time to give rather than take. Okay. With a Virgo in new moon. So one of you guys might be a Virgo or have Virgo in your moon, sun, on rising. It could be also in your Venus. And one of you is very giving, and I do feel, pile number 3, that you are the giving person actually, because I saw this generosity card here. You might be a very giving, loving, in terms of love-giving person. So this also therefore could indicate that you have Virgo in one of your somewhere in your chart, because Virgos are very devoted and very giving signs once they find the person that they want to devote themselves to. So I do feel for the majority of you could be that your pile number 3 have Virgo in your sign somewhere. Moon, rising, Venus, or sun. But also the second message that this wants to give us is that you're going to be very giving. There's so much gentle, warm love that you have to give. You have a lot of love to give, and you're just ready to meet this person. You just want to devote. Yes, with this generosity card, you're very giving. You just targeted them in a positive meaning of this word. And there's a lot of love you can give. And there's a lot of I feel like I'm just looking at this card and it kind of symbolizes everything. Like, I feel like this is you, pile number 3, holding this love like so gently, so romantically. There's like this warmth and romance and strong gentleness, if that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, that looks very good for you. Pile number 3. So I'm just trying to see if I can feel anything else here. It could be a very unexpected encounter. It's just really random too for some of you. Take it as it resonates. That's kind of the message you get in here. So not necessarily something and very sudden. Also, you might, as I said before, you might get together quite fast too, or understand that you're each other's soulmates quite fast, or label each other as soulmates quite fast. But anyways, yeah, I think that's all I'm picking up for today's reading. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you find this useful, and I hope you find your perfect soulmate. Let me know what you think in the comment section below if you feel like it. Also, if you feel like it, like, subscribe, and feel free to visit my other videos and my next videos too. Have a wonderful night, evening, day, wherever you are around the world, and I'll be seeing you in my next videos. Bye guys! Before is welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful blue lace agate, then this is your reading about how you're gonna meet your soulmate. We're gonna look at the journey, starting from the moment now until you start dating them. We're gonna look at their first impression of you and also your first impression of your soulmate. And we're also gonna have a look at in one general card about how your relationship is gonna go from the point that you start dating. And just one general card that can tell us literally everything. It depends how we look at it, and we'll have a look how it goes. All right, without further ado, let's get started. So let's have a look at your journey. For the journey, we start with 3 tarot cards. Now, process, and result when you start dating them. So we have the Star, as in for today. We have the Ace of Wands, and then we have the, oh wow, 10 of Cups. Huh, okay. So let's have a look. Actually, before we have a look, I'm gonna also lay out a few more oracle cards just to have a look how the full journey picture looks like. So we have the Seed, okay, and the World. So right ahead, what I'm getting here, I'm getting a lot of messages. So let's start by from the very beginning. So it feels like you've been really hoping for a really good relationship. So, I mean, who doesn't, right? That's why you're actually here in this reading. But it feels like you really wanted that beautiful relationship. You really wanted this beautiful, you really want a relationship. You have fantasized about it. You really have even healed from your previous relationships if there were some unsuccessful ones. And you're just really in the state of really hopeful acceptance and waiting for this wonderful soulmate to just come in. On the contrary to that, it feels like the Seed card here. It feels like maybe a lot of times you tried dating a lot of people, maybe you went on a couple of dates, and just, it wasn't that. It was not it. Maybe at first, maybe somebody who gets very excited at first, and you were like, okay, this is the person. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, like, yay, and then like very disappointing kind of attitude afterwards. So with the Seed card, it feels like a lot of times you went on dates and a lot of times you were just like deceived that this is the one. But it's not exactly deceit. I do feel it like, none of those people were actually your soulmate. So it feels like you tried a couple of dates perhaps. You were always so hopeful about it. You were always like, had this, yay, this person looks great. And then once you got to talk to them a little bit more, or once they showed up a little bit their personality and their real colors, you were like, okay, that's definitely not the person. Damn it. Not again. But you're in general very hopeful. I feel like you're still you still believed and want to have this person, and you're really hopeful and very optimistic about your future love life. I do feel like you're in general a very optimistic person, and at the very least you have a very optimistic attitude. I mean, at the very least, if you end up watching this video, it means that you really, really hope to find your soulmate. So that's already an optimistic attitude. Yay! So the way I feel like you're gonna meet, there is a high chance you're gonna meet. Okay, there's 2 things. You might meet through a creative project, something that you start. It's kind of like a passionate, fast encounter. So it could be that you're meeting through a hobby, or there's a potential adventure feeling here. So you could meet them in a very interesting, fast-moving, adventurous situation. It could be, I know how it sounds right now in terms of lockdowns and all of this corona situation happening around, but I do feel like you might actually meet them in terms of transition. So it could be potentially that they are actually from a different country, or you are, well, if they're from a different country, you're also from a different country. What was I about to say? Anyways, yeah, it feels like you could be from two different countries. At the very least, you live in two different areas. For some of you, it could mean that you're meeting this person through the internet, through personal, for some sort of interest, similar interest, through some sort of similar community, it could be, or it could be just some sort of activity, some sort of adventure. It does feel like the word adventure here comes into action. So maybe, I don't know, you go for a field trip, or you just meet them in the airplane during the transition. That's where the world comes into play. But what I'm seeing here is that your my great speech today is just magnificent. Your optimistic attitude towards, like, you still believe, hope. The star signifies the hope and potential and believing and wanting and being optimistic that, yes, you know what, yeah, I didn't have that great of a date, or yeah, I met a couple of people that were not that, yes, a bit of disappointment, but well, I still believe there's a person out there for me. And actually there is, potentially from a different geographical area, a different ethnicity, nationality, or just a different country. And with the 10 of Cups in my readings, this signifies a happy family and an absolute emotional fulfillment. So this person, whatever you were hoping for, this person's just going to be everything that you were hoping for. Like this rainbow, like look at this card. I just so adore this 10 of Cups. It kind of feels like it could be also potentially a family card, a happy family card. So we have this fulfillment. We have this, like, I can just look at this card and feel like everything you were hoping for, this person will have it. So it's kind of like, even you could marry this person. If you're into marriage, you could potentially later on marry to this person. And I do feel like the marriage may even happen quite early, like within a year or something, or a year and a half. I do potentially feel like you might have kids with this person a bit later after. And I do feel like you have this I do feel like it's your energy. You have this very optimistic, like very hopeful kind of approach, attitude, whether you understand this, realize this or not. And I do feel like once you meet them, there's going to be everything you were hoping for. I can see this fulfillment card. It's going to be emotional fulfillment. That's how I can describe it. It's going to be an emotional fulfillment. And that's how the 10 of Cups always signifies emotional fulfillment. So now we're going to have a look at the impressions of both of you. So first, let's have a look at the impression of your soulmate towards you. What is their impression when they first meet you? Ooh, Ace of Pentacles and Creative Spark. So I did pick up on the creative activity here. It could be that you meet through a creative project, some sort of adventurous, some sort of adventure, passionate, hobby, work. They will at the very least find you as very creative. It could be maybe they even see you through some creative social media. Maybe you're a content creator. Maybe you're an artist and you post your work somewhere online. Maybe they notice you there through the internet. And they will approach you and they will see you as a creative person that you might actually be. Also, I'm getting Aquarius vibes. What's wrong with my speech? Just bear with me. You might actually, might be an Aquarius. Somewhere in your chart, at the very least, you might have Aquarius. I did feel that with the star being an Aquarius card. It could be also them, but I do feel like maybe in your chart you might have Aquarius. Not for everyone. Zodiac signs is not something that resonates for everyone in general readings. But some of you might be Aquariuses and have Aquarius in your natal chart. So, Ace of Pentacles. Now, they might see you as this... So, I feel like once they see you, they will see like a new possibility, a new person. They will see you as somebody new, so they don't know you yet. And they will see you as somebody new who either way, they want to do something materially for. Maybe they're going to be, if you're meeting through a creative project, maybe if you're a content creator, if you are an artistic artist or whatever, and you create, maybe you sell your art online, there might be potentially, either way, somebody who will be interested in buying one of your works, Or for others of you, it can just indicate that they will see you as this material opportunity coming through. When I say material, I mean like physically, they will see you as somebody who they want to physically keep in their lives. So if the communication starts with through the internet, they will physically want to meet you and have you in their lives, whether it's friendship, whatever they have in their minds. But they will be very, very, in the very least, if you don't find yourself to be a creative person, which I don't think that's the case, but if you don't find yourself to resonate with this, at the very least, I see that they will admire your mindset. The way your mind works, they will really admire it. It's gonna be like this freshness spark for them. They're gonna be like thinking and feeling this freshness, this very unique kind of thinking. I do get the Aquarius vibe a little bit here. Okay, and the Ace of Pentacles, yeah, they will see you as either way an opportunity, like somebody who they want to start something with materially. Materially, I mean like physically. So whether that means they want to start a relationship with you or just have you as a friend, they just want to meet you in terms of like meet you in physical terms. So I do feel like for some of you it could be also internet connection. That is very likely for a lot of you because right now with the situation, the lockdowns, that can be something that is very relatable. But they definitely want to meet you in real life, and they definitely, or for some of you, if you met through a hobby or through some sort of activity in terms of creative business, activity, hobby, they might want to be your client of a sort, or they might be interested in purchasing your works. Yeah. But they definitely admire your mindset. So this is your impression of them. Okay, I do feel there is a material aspect here. Maybe they will actually start. It's very specific though. I don't think this would resonate for a lot of you. Anyways, the way you see them is like the Ten of Pentacles has a lot of aspects. It can indicate family, building a family. It could also indicate abundance. In terms of like, in my readings, it's going to indicate abundance. So you find them, or you could actually find them as the complete package, like all in one. You will find them like this perfect package. That's why you also emotionally feel fulfilled. Also, I feel like they potentially can be materially well off, or they want to be, because you'll find them to be ambitious. And in terms of ambitious, I feel like they will be making the first move. Yeah, they will be making the first move. They will see you somewhere, perhaps through the internet. Or, it can also potentially indicate, as I said before, that it can be from a different country. There can be somebody from a different, at the very least, from a different background in terms of nationality. And if you are doing something creative, because I do feel like you have a lot of creativity, you have a very, very unique and optimistic mindset, pile number 4s. I do feel like it. And I do feel like they might even try and kind of admire what you do, your mindset, but also what you do. And they might actually purchase some of your works, invest in you, whatever that means with this Ace of Pentacles. But yeah, since you are perceiving them as this Ten of Pentacles and ambition here, it could be that your relationship starts from some sort of business, creativity, admiration, business kind of like... but I feel like your meeting is not like as usual as like walking on the street and they just come to you and like, hey, do you want to get to know each other? I do feel like there's a really interesting story in here, and for each of you, pile number 4 is going to be different. But I do feel like it's from some sort of adventure. I would call it adventure of a sort. So there's some sort of story in there, something like some sort of interaction with in terms of business like, or perhaps through some sort of creativity that you do, because I do feel like you have a pretty interesting mindset in terms like very creative, or in the very least they will find your mindset very unique and very interesting. They will be really attracted to that. Yeah, and you will find them their ambition very admirable. Also, there will be like the full package. You will see them as a full package, both emotionally and materially. You will be very fulfilled with this person. That's what I can see here. Let's just have a look then in your last 2 cards, starting with the general card that is going to represent your relationship after you already met and started dating. Whee! Oh, the Sea Witch. Oh, yes, the optimistic feeling doesn't let go of me. Anyways, with the Sea Witch, this card is about optimism, about this a little bit of childhood joy, optimism. there's so much joy in here. Like, there's so much optimism here. I do feel like you're quite optimistic, and they will just admire this. I do feel like they're very ambitious, actually, and they even potentially might want to help you, but I do feel like your relationship is going to be something like this innocent, joyful, kind of creative experience, because I do feel like your relationship is going to have like a lot of creativity to it, a lot of optimism, like this childhood, not childhoodness, but like more of this playfulness. That's the word, playfulness. So yeah, a lot of playfulness, a lot of like joy. I do feel like they're gonna be like your biggest fan. Whatever you do, like they're gonna admire you. I feel like this is this fish like that just is near you, and they just. I do feel like I'm looking at this fish. It's so adorable. Look at this. They have this eye, this googly eye, and this open mouth. It feels like they're just in a state of admiration. That's how it looks in my eyes, and. Yeah, it feels like they're going to be your biggest supporter, your biggest fan, and they're going to be by your side, kind of like this companion, soulmate, basically. A joyful relationship. I don't feel much, like there's a lot of optimism here. A lot of, if you were, potentially you could have been attracted to pile number one, because there was a lot of optimism and kind of like bonding with mindset kind of energies. So if you felt slightly attracted to pile number one, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I do feel like an element of creativity, optimism, like there's not a dull day going by, basically. Of course, you will have your lazy days where you just lay on the couch, but you still somehow find each other's companion quite fulfilling and interesting. Yes. So your last card for today's reading is the Moonology card, which I'm using literally in every possible reading. And because they're just so relatable. But I love all my babies. Anyways, it's gonna basically tell us either way a zodiac sign in terms of their moon, rising, or could be also Venus, but also moon, rising, sun, yours or theirs, or any potential information that can be helpful. You are good enough with a full moon in Virgo. So one of you could have Virgo in your chart, whether that's moon, sun, or rising, mainly you or them. It also could be in the Venus or your Venus, which is representing love, because it's a love reading. But you're good enough. I do feel like this admiration, they will be quite fascinated by you. That's how I feel like they're going to be fascinated by you. Yes, they're gonna see you, they're gonna be fascinated. I do feel like they're gonna make the first move. It might be not entirely romantic. I do feel like they will approach maybe with a business offer, or at the very least with some sort of admiration or whatever. Slowly integrating from there to a more romantic relationship, but it feels like they're gonna admire you a lot. With this, you are good enough. You're gonna be just, they're gonna admire. The best way to describe this, they're gonna admire you. And yeah, they might be Virgo, you might be Virgo, sun, moon, rising, or you or them might have Virgo in your chart in Venus, which represents love. Yeah, that's what I see for your pile number 4. It's so very optimistic. That is just to kind of tell you what I'm feeling from this. There's a very optimistic vibe here and creative vibe. It's a very nice energy. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading. That's it for today. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about, what resonated. And feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. So yeah, that's it for today. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, and I'll be seeing you in my next videos. Bye guys!